Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Millicent Walker. On the news this hour, President Muhammadu Buhari arrives Kaduna State for the commissioning of projects. And after their inauguration, some ministers already at their duty posts, familiarizing with members of staff in their respective ministries for the task ahead. Plus, reactions and comments trail the various portfolios assigned to the ministers as experts dialogue on the capabilities and the administration's core mandates. Welcome everyone to the program. We begin this afternoon with the President's visit to Kaduna, northwest Nigeria, for the commissioning of some projects. President Muhammadu Buhari, on his arrival, was received by Governor Nasser El-Rufai and other top government officials at the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria. During the visit, the President is expected to commission the Phase 2 of the Zaria Regional Water Supply Project and also the Postgraduate Center of Excellence at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, built by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The first phase of the Regional Water Supply Project was commissioned in 2017 by the former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief John Oyegu. The 150 million litres per day Zaria water treatment plant is solely financed by the Kaduna state government, is expected to end decades of water scarcity in Zaria and its environs. And the much-awaited federal cabinet has been inaugurated, comprising 43 ministers and other cabinet members. The cabinet members and the secretary to the government of the federation took their oath of office in the council chambers, signaling the formal takeoff of the Federal Executive Council that will assist the president achieve his set plans in his second term. There were a few twists, as the ministerial list had a show of retention, unbundling, and a new addition. Apart from President Buhari, who retains his position as Minister of Petroleum Resources, 12 other ministers also retained their previous ministries. And they include Mr. Rotimi Amechi, the Ministry of Transport, and Abubakar Malami, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. The Ministry of Power, Works and Housing was unbundled, with the Works and Housing Ministry assigned to Mr. Babatunde Fashola, while Mr. Saleh Maman is now the Minister of Power. A new ministry, Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, is to be manned by Sadiya Farouk.
The inauguration of ministers designate begins with their introduction and citations. Some citations evoke various reactions from the audience.
Born June 12, 1970.
Among the appointees is the one from Ondo State, Senator Motayo Alashadura, whose rag to riches story was quite inspiring.
Senator Alashadura started work in 1974 as a messenger at Balogun and Yonfalu, Badejo and Co. Chartered Accountants, and rose through the ranks to become the managing partner and chief executive officer of the same firm. All within 16 years. Rose from a messenger to chief executive officer within 16 years.
Immediate past ministers Rotimi Amechi, Jeffrey Onyema, and Chris Ngige are notable personalities who are retaining their former post. In the case of Babatunde Fashola, who used to oversee 3 ministries, the Ministerial power has been unbundled from him, as is now to oversee the Ministry of Works and Housing. The first person to be sworn in is the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, who returns for a second time as SGF. Among the 43 ministers, 7 of them are women. While reeling out the ministers' portfolios, President Muhammadu Buhari announced a new ministry.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
The president charges them to be dedicated, honest, and unbiased in the discharge of their duties.
For the past 2 days, you were with me at the retreat. The retreat, which was conducted with clear focus on the roadmap towards the delivery of government policies, programs and projects for 2019 to 2023. We must also intensify efforts to reduce internal security threats and eliminate corruption at all levels so as to ensure that our citizens have a safe and corruption-free environment where they can live and conduct their businesses without fear and intimidation.
From here, the ministers return to their new offices and familiarize themselves with their ministries. Most importantly, they will set out to work on the budget, which is expected to be ready when members of the National Assembly return from their recess.
And shortly after the inauguration, some of the ministers immediately swung into action, moving straight to their offices where they met with members of staff in their respective ministries. Some of them had discussions on the work ahead and the need for teamwork to meet the next level agenda.
Jeffrey Onyema.
43 ministers have been sworn into office and handed their portfolios. These will make up the cabinet of President Muhammadu Buhari, which he promises will move the country to the next level. And that work starts now. With the creation of the Ministry of Police Affairs, the workers celebrate as the newly appointed minister, Megari Dingyadi, arrives the ministry. The returning Minister of Aviation also got a resounding welcome as he made his way into the ministry. He promises to correct any wrongs in the running of the ministry's affairs.
Not for me alone, it is for all of us.
Please, can we remain seated? The new Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekon Adegbite, in the company of the Minister of State, Uchechukwu Oga, addressed the staff of the ministry on his expectations.
If you're such that what you are doing, you want to quickly hurry up and nobody catches you there, then that's also corruption.
At the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, the new Minister of State, Mr. Clement Agba, takes up the full affairs of the former minister, Mr. Udo Udoma. As the supervising minister, Zainab Ahmed is also the Minister of Finance.
There's a whole lot of work to be done, and he needs the budget to be before the National Assembly in September.
We will manage as a ministry.
The returning Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Geoffrey Onyema, promises to be more aggressive in protecting Nigerians in diaspora.
I would like to see us have a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 24/7 help desk. So every Nigerian anywhere in the world will have a number that they can call whenever they are having any issues of any kind.
One of the first things we have to do.
Mr. Babatunde Fashola now heads the Ministry of Works and Housing. He too says presenting a budget to the National Assembly in the next few weeks is the first job for the ministry. Meanwhile, the newly appointed Minister of Interior, Mr. Rauf Aregbesola, says his focus will be security.
If you want to define the security that we are talking about, it's less of external, which is defense, and more of internal. So, if that will therefore condition our mobilization for the next level assignment.
Meanwhile, the main opposition, the People's Democratic Party, has described the ministerial inauguration as a poor parade of recycled food